Hi there, and welcome back to knitting a star ornament. You can see here that I have completed my round 7. I've done all the 6 repeats of that round and I'm ready to move on to round 8. But before we go on, let me show you on this ornament here. So this tier here is round 6. We have already done that. And this is round 8, the one that we'll be working on right now. This is round 10 and the 3rd tier, and the final round is round 12 and the last 4th tier of this ornament. But for the sake of time, and just because the technique for making all of these tiers is absolutely the same, we're not going to knit all 4 of them. That's why round 8 is going to be our bind off round. And we're just going to make a star that looks like this with only two tiers. So we begin round 8. And I have instructions in the pattern that gives you information on how to knit round 8 if you're still going to continue knitting after that, and also instructions about also instructions for round 8 as if it was the final round of your ornament. So let's say this is our last final round and it's going to be our bind off round. We begin this round by binding off 5 stitches, just like before, and it would be the same if you were still going on with the process. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if you will continue to knit this ornament, this star, here you would have done knitted cast on 2 stitches, but because this is going to be our final bound off round, instead of 2, we are going to knitted cast on 3 just to make the point a little more pronounced. So instead of knitted cast on 2, we're going to cast on 3. 1, 2, and 3. If round 10 is going to be your last round, you're going to do the same. Instead of knitted cast on 2, you're going to knitted cast on 3. And next we are going to bind off 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, maybe 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I just want to draw your attention here. So if it wasn't our last round, which it is, if you were still going to continue and make more tiers for this star ornament, what you do now is you would do a KFB into this central stitch here. So you would knit to the front oh sorry, my stitch is not showing up in the correct way. So you would knit to the front and then back leg of this stitch here, and then slip this stitch over these two, and just like in round 6 you would keep this first stitch on your right hand needle and then use the second stitch and continue to bind off as many stitches as the pattern indicates. Then once again, this would be your live stitch that you would just slip off your needle and let it be and move on, proceeding with the pattern. But since this is our bind off round, we are not going to do it here. So we'll just continue to bind off. So we bound off, I believe 8. We bound off 8 stitches, but we were supposed to bind off 9. So 8 and 9. Next, I'm gonna consult the pattern. So then the pattern says to repeat from one star to the other, and so we have to bind off the next 5 stitches. So we bound off 9. Now once again we're repeating the pattern repeat, and it's going to be binding off 5 more stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Once again, placing this last stitch onto the left hand needle, and once again we are going to knit it cast on 3, just like we did here. So you would knit it cast on 3 here. 1, 2, 3, and you will bind off 9. Once again you will bind off 9 stitches, and following the pattern after that you will bind off 5 again, knit it cast on 3, bind off 9, and you just continue in that manner until you get to our final repeat. So here I've already completed 5 repeats, and I have one last left to complete, which is it begins with binding of 5. 1, 2, 3, let's see, 3. My yarn really splits here. 4, 5, 5. Last time we are going to knit it cast on 3. 1, 2, 3, and on the last one, instead of binding off 9, we are going to bind off 8. Well, simply because there are only 8 stitches left to bind off in this last repeat. So we're going to bind off 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hope your yarn is not as splitty as mine and you have easier time. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, if you remember, at the end of round 6, what we did is we inserted our needle under the first bound of stitch, pulled a new stitch through, and then slipped the stitch from right hand needle over our last stitch. And previously this stitch became the first stitch of our new round, but since this was our bind off round and there are no more rounds to make, what we are going to do is we're going to trim our yarn, and we're just going to pull our yarn through this last loop, and we're going to tighten that knot. And here we have our star ornament all ready. The last thing you're going to do is, using a tapestry needle, just bind off, just weave in your ends. And of course you're going to need to block and starch your ornament so it looks nice like this one here. But this is it. This is all there is to it. And thank you for watching, and I hope you'll have fun knitting some stars today. Bye.